This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online library of
enough. You can get the Truefire All Access Pass for as cheap as they ever do it, the $99 thing. So just jump and do that if you're looking for the best price that you can get Truefire All Access for. Today is a day with not just one, but two warm audio pedals. One of these is exclusive, I think, to you guys in America, the Tube Squealer. And again, I guess you're going to be able to figure out what that's based on. And then we also have the Throne of Tone, which is obviously going to be a take on a Marshall Bluesbreaker, King of Tone, with a little bit of a twist, like everything is possible on the top of the pedal, combining those two ideas. I think it'd be fair to say that Warm Audio are pretty notorious cloners, but to me, what's kind of clear here with this pedal is that it's trying to do like a pretty thorough job of the king of tone. So if you're not aware, the king of tone was an Analog Man Mike's take on a Bluesbreaker. Those essentially had a long wait list, still do. I think I'm on that wait list. So over the years, you know, there've been lots of other companies that have done kind of their spin on the two Bluesbreakers in a chassis type thing. So in stock mode, so got low, got set to blues versus king. So each of these sides are identical, right? But like with the king of tone, some of them would come with a high gain mod on one side. That's quite a common thing. So it would have like the red side, and obviously both sides could be turned from either blue, which is going to be your stock sort of Bluesbreaker settings, or your king, which is your Analog Man style settings, right? So the way that I typically end up using a Bluesbreaker, now we've got boost mode. So I think these are actually sort of clipping options, or distortion. And a lot of this stuff on the other pedals would be kind of internal dip switch options, and so I think it's a really great idea that these are all brought out onto the front of the pedal, so you can actually get in there, and it can be a really useful, versatile gain mode, low or high. So now, the other thing that you would normally have would be like an internal trimmer presence here if we want more high end. So quite a versatile kind of EQ set. Now, so we can have either side set up to be totally different things. So this could be king of tone in distortion mode, high gain, gain all the way. And this one here could just be like a boost, normal boost. And then you decide which way you're going to run it. So in this mode, I think I'm running here into that. So I could have OD mode. So it's really, I think, a pretty cooking version of this pedal. And one of the things that I kind of like about the Bluesbreaker tone over a TubeScreamer is that you got like a little bit more of that glassiness, which I sometimes miss, and it makes a great boost pedal, but it also makes it a great sort of mid-gain. And then with these additional mods to be able to take you into that overdrive. Just a cracking idea for a pedal. You've also got a send and return here, so it's kind of perfect for sticking in a loop. It's the most, I think, thorough recreation, like amalgamation of this concept that I've seen, and you know, nothing internal. There's also a voltage increaser up here. I don't know what that does. Let's have a listen. Like a higher headroom version. I guess that would be more about feel than anything else. But so yeah, a very, very thorough, fully fleshed out concept of what it would be if you had like the King of Tone Bluesbreaker experience. Okay, now this little guy here is the Tube Squealer. Now, we have obviously your normal TubeScreamer kind of things. So you got level, drive, and tone. But in addition to that, what we've also got is a mix. So you can have your clean all the way in or all the way out. We've also got 3 sort of circuit switches. So we've got 808, TS10, which is my favorite TubeScreamer, and then TS9. So you can switch between those for slightly different sort of TubeScreamer vibes. And then also here, we've got a humbucker mode, which actually does work quite effectively to sort of readjust the EQ so that you have less of that kind of honky stuff going on. So this might actually be the perfect TubeScreamer for a bunch of people that are maybe, you know, like your boy Bukovac and Rhett, that find TubeScreamers just a little bit on the honky side. So, you know, even with single coils, this does a different thing as well, but basically brings you some sort of more upper range sort of sparkly stuff. In addition, on the back here, we've got a voltage boost.
which you can turn on or off, as well as bypass modes, which can be true or buffered. So quite a versatile pedal in terms of, you know, maybe if you're running with a fuzz or that sort of stuff, you might want to run this without the buffer. So I think they've done a pretty interesting job of what is, you know, not necessarily the easiest pedal to do anything new with, a TubeScreamer, of course. You can buy these exclusively at Guitar Center. Hopefully I'll have a link in the description box for that. But I was actually very impressed with it, and particularly when I stuck on that humbucker mode, you know, I think actually, yeah, they are bringing something slightly different to the TubeScreamer game. I'm going to play you out with this now, but thanks to Warm Audio for letting me check out these pedals, and catch you in another video soon. Cheers.